Welcome to the Thoughts on Why podcast with your hosts, Jess and Allie. Discussion, all things Yuri and Yaoi, and how we feel about all the hype. Sit back and relax as we discuss all things why.
Hello and welcome to the Thoughts on Why podcast. Today we have a very special guest, a TikTok creator that goes by the name of Pegasus. We are going to leave his link down below. Please follow him. He's a DBL fan. On today's episode, it may be touchy for some, it may not be touchy for others. Just know that the comments are open and your thoughts and opinions are valid. You have 3 point of views from this podcast today. You have someone who is unbiased to the person who was speaking of, but knows of his work. We have Jeff, who is going to be coming with a more logical, level-headed outlook on everything, and then you have a fan to now former fan of the individual that we are. So today's topic is Music. You may know him from What the Duck to Con Type. You may know his music from his most recent Turn Off the Alarm with Suo from EXO to his Na 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 to many others that he has done. He has future projects. I want to make it very clear this is not a tear down New Train. This is not a tear down a person or anything else. This is talking about two things that he stated and having a conversation piece on it. Do not know him personally. He's not friends of ours. This is not an expose. Cannot speak upon who he is behind camera because we only know his professional career. So recently, Mew went on a trip to New York. It seemed to be an eye-opening trip for him. He was with his friend of 13 years, to Popcorn. He possibly able to get a lot of clarity, possible advice from a fellow co-star as well, and just fellow actor in the Thai industry. But from then, he decided that it came to a point to announce that he was seeing someone. Um, and pretty much making it clear to his personal fandom, which is the Millions, but also to the fandom that he created with his co-star, Kanawut, the Wanjais, that they could still ship them, but to be respectful of who he's seeing. People were upset and at the fact that there were certain things said by him and Gulf Conwood that led it to believe that they were in a relationship that they did not want, I guess exclusive, can that be the word, exclusive or out there, only for it to just be another ship and just overly exaggerated fan service. When that was brought up to him, because that was brought up to him, Gokano several times, is this fan service? Is this fan service? Especially Mew, he seemed offended by it being considered fan service.
Let's not say especially Mew, because Golf had the same reaction.
Yeah. So definitely, as Jess said, Golf definitely had the same reaction. But what I don't understand from them, and like we can discuss it now, is why they think that fan service is such an issue. Because I see fan service as good service. It's good monetary value. It's further entertainment. It kind of keeps you in the. It keeps the attention for you from your fans. They continue to support you. You know it's fake. They were under the impression it was fake, but it was fun until these two gentlemen kind of made it not fun and made people more shippers. Those who were shippers more supporters. So I don't know if somebody wants to raise their hand.
I'll raise my hand first. Just because, and I have been saying this since the creation of Wanjai.
Okay,
Um, I'm not gonna put the blame on anybody assuming they were real, other than the shippers themselves. We all have a brain, and we all could see how much money they were making off of this ship. Um, because literally every interview they had was sponsored.
Definitely.
Even when they did their Instagram lives, most of the time there was a product somewhere in that live.
Oh, definitely KFC.
So, and who is to say that them both acting offended was not fan service within itself?
Oh, say that again. I'm sorry.
Acting offended was not fan service within itself.
That's a very good
Good
point.
point.
They are actors, and they're not the only ship that has acted offended about being called out on fan service. Even people that say they're friends and not an actual ship will still act offended. Like we know for like Tay New straight as hell. But if you say it's fan service, he's gonna say no because Tay is his friend.
Very much.
So, it's one of those things. Like Chris Singto, they're real friends in real life. It's not, but yes, they're going to act lovey dovey when they're on stage getting paid. It doesn't necessarily mean their friendship is fake, but it's also like we knew from the get go, Golf was straight. He had a girlfriend, and Wanjai's bullied the hell out of her.
Yes, very unfairly, very
So
infairly.
everybody that is upset at Mew and or Golf at the moment is really just upset at themselves because it may not have been an epiphany. It literally may have been he had a conversation with his significant other, and his significant other had a problem.
That's I was just about
And
I was just about to bring that up, but keep
it
going.
is
Let's bring it up.
respectful of Mew to say, I am dating someone. Please be respectful of my partner. You can ship me with my ship partner, but please do not go so far that it makes my relationship uncomfortable and it makes my partner uncomfortable because y'all don't have to deal with that.
Exactly.
So
Which
that's
goes to the viewers. That goes that this is Mew behind the camera, so he doesn't have to bring that part of his life into the camera. But to play the devil's advocate, I guess, this goes into the fans having someone in the Thai entertainment industry, which is Woody, a talk show host.
mm-hmm.
When he does interviews, he doesn't kind of hold punches. So when he's asking these questions, he's wanting like honest answers. So he's wanting like, are you two dating? No, okay, cool. Because he's the type which I've seen like through his tweets and just him just speaking like on his radio shows and stuff, which is really great. We'll probably have to put a link to his podcast as well. But he likes to just, okay, is this real? Not real. Okay, so now the fans don't cross any more lines. Like these two men aren't a part of our community, but they're allies of our community. But let's not take them to a place where you you
But did Mew say but did Mew say he's not a part of the community?
Mew has been very ambiguous. Like, I mean, super ambiguous. One day he is, one day he isn't. One day,
Because that also might have to be about work. And I know a lot of people are like, we'll be open and honest about it. But as outsiders outside of Thailand, we can even see the Thai government and the climate there is not necessarily made for LGBTQ to be out. Even people that are not out and just allies, remember when they literally released on the news an entire blacklist of celebrities?
I don't remember that.
it
Maybe
was
I
a it
missed
was
that
a
type of
couple
stuff.
months ago, and it was literally because people talked about the fact that the handling of the COVID vaccine was done terribly, which it was.
Okay, okay.
But they
Have
lit,
to,
but
okay.
they released that, and it literally were other activists. Singto was on the list, uh, and like literally, this is a government that has a king that made his entire second wife disappear for 3 years, and then she magically came back. So I'm just gonna say this: I'm not saying nothing.
Oh no, definitely, definitely. I fully believe that like because see, and that's like the dissection. It's so muddy because you have the government side and the royalty side because they are still ruled by royalty compared to us. Like we just have a government to put that in hardcore, but they have a king that they kind of sometimes stop everything.
And their prime minister isn't the greatest either. So I mean,
Yeah. Okay, so Kyle, can you give us how you're feeling after hearing?
Honestly, I don't necessarily have much to say on that aspect because I'm not necessarily surprised with how things are coming out of Thailand with BLs and whatnot because they just pump out BLs like this. So I take everything with a grain of salt. Like, are these two in a relationship or not, or what have you? So I can understand where it could be frustrating for some viewers to know whether or not they are or aren't, because me being older, you don't get to see a lot of representation. So it's always fun to, not, I don't want to say fun, it's the wrong word. It's great to have someone seeing it yourself represented in mainstream TV, especially a popular genre as BL. So you kind of want to be included. Like, when, me, I'm going to use myself for example. I had let's say I had a crush on, let's say, guess what's his name? I forget his name. Chris, whatever. He played Robin in Batman way back in the 90s. So yeah, so he was just like, he was attractive and whatnot. So like, yeah, it was great, but we all know, yeah, he's a straight guy. So it's just like I can have a crush or whatever. But it's great to, I guess, have a person that you can have a crush on that you could, in your mind, I guess, see yourself with, like it would be a legitimate crush, so it's not like, oh, they're not part of the community, so that's just out of my hair. So it's I can see the frustration, but to just expect people to automatically be one way with you and be mad when they're not that way, it's nonsensical, at least to me, in my
and you can say fun because it is fun. Like shipping is fun, crushing is fun, fanboying, fangirling is all fun. um,
I feel like you said it's fun and like you said how it gives, even though it is not actual representation, it's still out there. It's still there. It's like, okay, yeah, they're a fake gay couple, but they still show affection that you can kind of like awe at and you can kind of applaud at. And I think it does break toxic masculinity as well. Like it breaks.
Do it though.
I'm a
Do,
bro.
do it though. Like, let's be honest. When it comes to no, let's be honest. When it comes to like Thai BL, it don't break no toxic masculinity because friends that are straight have skinship in Thailand, but yet for BL, the skinship is normal for gay or straight friends, but they still have those roles of wifey and hubby. It don't break no toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
That's just an assumption for the West.
Yeah.
But like I do get, so I guess for me, because I prefer men out of all my preferences, I prefer men. So I don't have a problem necessarily seeing straight couples in the media that I see as myself. So I don't have that same investment over BL couples as some people would, as a gay man would, like you, Kyle. For me, I grew up watching a lot of Tai Lak One because my brother loves Tai Lak One. And so I know that every couple in a show is a ship. And as long as they get popular enough, somebody is going to put them on a box of cereal on a Oishi package. We are going to get some random green tea flavor with them drinking it at the mall. I already know, straight, gay, or otherwise. So for me, it's mind boggling. I could see shipping. I get it. It's fun. And I don't get me wrong, I ship these boys too. But I can see shipping. What I don't understand is when fans then make themselves believe that these are a couple in real life, outside of the IG lives, outside of the sponsored appearances, because you don't see paparazzi pictures of these men walking holding hands. You don't see paparazzi pictures or fans that caught them somewhere being together outside of work. So you only see the scheduled things they showed us. And so I don't understand the visualization and making yourself believe, oh, Mew and Golf were together in real life, regardless of what they said for an interview. Because even though Woody is very honest, I don't know how it works in Thailand, but in the West, even if you're on a podcast, if you're on a radio show, if you're on a TV show, if you're getting interviewed, you have to send all your questions to the management of your artist that you're interviewing. So they're going to see all the questions. And who's ever in charge of PR for either the show they're doing, the brand they're sponsored by, or their own management and agencies, they're going to make up the answers. So those questions were sent to them before they ever showed up on that interview. They probably had them a good 2 weeks before and made up the answers and rehearsed the answers. And what people forget is, yes, they made it look believable. They're actors. That's their job. If they didn't make anything look believable, would we still be watching it?
I,
What about you,
honestly, in this, if it's not necessarily believable, I don't think it's not people won't still be watching because of how popular it's become, especially with the amount of content that is coming out of Thailand.
And there
I
are the
just
fetish sizers.
so it's hard to say, and I feel like it could. In my mind, I can understand where you might slightly get that thought because I'm gonna be honest. Every once in a while, I had that thought. It's like, oh my god, are they really together? Like, are they a couple? So, but I'm not gonna be mad at somebody because they're not together.
Yeah. But you know what I think it is?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because, like I said, like, I wanted to make sure, like, I kind of got, like, everyone's kind of side when it came to at least their fandom. I wanted to, like, just read through, like, how everyone was feeling. And kind of everyone kind of came to the same consensus. Of course, some more insulting than others, as there's a fan war that is still going on, and like I see people writing, this just gonna go on until February, and I'm like, well, we don't have time for podcasts, but they for them it's like, yeah, like they should have if something happened, because that's another thing, friendships happen, god forbid something between me and Jess could happen where we get into a fight and we can't talk for a while. It happens, it's life. What you forget is that Mew is 31, Golf is 25, both of them adults with adult feelings and adult frustrations, and they could just be like, all right, I'm done. Like, we're done between each other. What people are more upset about is that they're still kind of using a fan they created, which is another issue for me. It's like, I get shipping, but let the fans ship. Don't create a fandom and feed onto it. Just let the fans do it. Let the fans do it, because before they created the fandom, the fans themselves, just shipping them as MewGulf, they were fucking making viral fucking Twitter shits left and right. And then it was Mew and Golf who came online and said, okay, we figured out a name for our fandom. It's going to be Wanjai Mew Golf. So everybody's like, okay, so they're going to be like together for a long time. Even if it's not a relationship, then professionally, they're going to like kind of keep feeding us like the moments we want and making their money. But at least like as fans, we're happy. As them, they're rich.
The fans asked for a name. I'm
I
gonna
didn't.
put that out there.
Yeah, but they
It was
shouldn't.
Thai fans. It was Thai fans asked for a name.
They shouldn't have given it.
Why not? If you're gonna ask me for something, that means you want to spend money on me. I'm gonna give you a name. Spend the money.
That MewGulf thing was enough because look at
No, nope.
Max. It took them. It no look at Max Tool. It took them years, and even Tool said it took them years to want a name and figure out a name. With fans telling them, "Give us a name for
That's
your
Max Tool.
fandom." God damn it.
That's Max Tool. Look at Off Gun. Baby had a name. Look at Tainu. Polka had a name. Look at Chris Singto. Pariah had a name. I had a name for Pariah real quick. I've been a Pariah since 3 months after Sodas aired. Some people are quicker than others, and to be honest, as fast as the MewGulf and Tarn type was going, especially because it was during the pandemic, we didn't have nowhere to go. A name was going to happen real quick. People ain't got nothing but time to sit there and think of what can we call ourselves. Also, the amount of sponsorships rolling in that wanted to put the fandom name on shit so they could sell it, that name was gonna come up real quick. Even if MewGulf didn't come up with that name, Mame was gonna come up with that name. The producers of Tarn Type was gonna come up with that name. The director of Tarn Type was gonna come up with that name. Somebody was gonna come up with that name.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna happen regardless. They're like, honestly, they're really the marketing capital of the world. Like they know what works and what isn't gonna work. Because it's crazy how much it's exploded this genre because of Thailand, to be honest with you, because BL isn't new. Like I've been watching BL for years, but when I actually fell in to BL from Thailand, I was like, where did all this content come from? Because it just came one after the other. And honestly, as much as they don't, I guess, advocate for the LGBT community. Like that's really one of their biggest money makers, honestly. Like we're gonna get these people's money and this is gonna boost our economy. Like this, like the Tarn type wedding special. Like
right, that was not needed because what did I tell you, eh? What did I tell you? I told you when they came out with that wedding special, you loved it. And I was like, all this is a cash grab.
Well, no. I loved it, but I was still pissed at it because it was behind a paywall, and I did tell you that. I told you that that pissed me off.
It did piss you off that it was a paywall, but you're like, look, it's beautiful. And I was like, look, they got some money.
For gay weddings, I don't really see them a lot. If I can see them, even if it's fake, I'm a sucker for gay weddings.
This is how no, because this is how I knew it was BS. The wedding special was of higher quality than the drama.
Honestly, I could understand that because I feel like I could have done without half of Turn Type 2, to be honest with you. And then to go through all of that and then the final episode be somebody else's wedding really pissed me off.
Oh yeah.
I'm just like, what is this?
That was the part that upset me, and I had saw like a lot of people that were like, you either could have had his brother's wedding like at the beginning of the show, or something like a quick like whatever minutes of showing that his brother got married and they were there, and maybe like while they were at his brother's wedding, they reminisce about their honeymoon, and they reminisce about like what they were doing on their honeymoon because they should have gotten married in the final episode. So like instead of it being Golf getting ordained and going through whatever, Golf, Type getting ordained and going through what he was going, doing what he was doing, and then everybody was like, okay, so he agreed to marry Tarn, and that was beautiful, but why couldn't they have gotten married in that final? And then people had speculation on that. They were like, it's because of the Thai government, because they weren't going to necessarily approve of showing a
That one Ned.
Like I said, I'm just giving you what was being said within, like, especially their fandoms. Like, it was Thai government. They weren't gonna allow it. It wasn't gonna be okay. That's why they had to put it behind a paywall so that at least the fans could show their support for May.
Exactly. Because look, I'm gonna be real honest. I didn't watch season 2. I wasn't going to watch season 2. But what I really think it was, and I told you when they started the workshops for season 2, and I was looking at them when you would send me the videos, whatever was happening between Golf and Mew was already happening. The ship has sailed. The shit had hit the fan, and it was falling apart. It was crumbling. It was crumbling. And you can't have one. It would be overkill to have another wedding because you gave us a whole wedding special. If you were going to give us a wedding special and you were already planning to have a second season, even if you were looking for funding and waiting for that rich random dude that liked Tarn type enough to fund an entire second season, you should have waited to the end of the second season. Because why do I need 2 MewGulf weddings? And then 2, you can't film something when neither actor are good enough actors to act through their hate of each other to get married.
This is very true. Because like you said, the first season was toxic, and then the second season just became more toxic.
And to bring up, like, you did send me the what people were saying, and I'm just gonna make Lay do more work and insert them in the video so you can read them.
By the way, why she's calling me Lay is that's what she knew me as before she knew me by my name.
Well, I knew your name. I'm just used to it on podcasts.
My name is Alyssa. My name is I go by Allie. I only Allie. But her, she is the exception.
And you sometimes slip up and call me Jay.
Yeah. Especially when we get emotional. But I feel like Jay rhymes with Jess, like Jay, Jess, Jessica, Jessie. Lay.
But my name is Jessica.
But was something I was cloaking myself. I was going through stuff. We're gonna do an introduction of of us, so I'll get into that. But that's why if you keep hearing her call her that, don't ask why.
And just like with people's pronouns, like just give me a minute, I'll get used to it and say the right word. Okay, don't hate me.
I forgot to ask that beforehand. I was like, "What's everybody's pronouns?"
She, her, bitch, whichever one you feel better with. It's fine with me.
My theme song is my favorite song is called "Bitch," and it describes me perfectly. So I mean,
but like a lot of the people, like of the messages you showed me, what I had a problem with was one, people made it seem as if Golf is so respectful of his fans. And I'm just going to say, him being silent about things doesn't make him respectful. He is the most disrespectful person to me. Okay? Because you, yes, got all these fans off of your ship. And what did you do? What did you do? You started selling bad K-pop. He has become rich off of bad K-pop. Y'all have sat through entire concerts of watching this man badly hip thrust, which even as a straight man, why can't you not hip thrust? Singing Love Shot. Right now, K-pop Twitter has discovered Golf because of Blackpink and his cover. I have literally people around the world that are only K-pop fans DMing me that I know. Like, who the fuck is this?
Oh, yeah.
And now I have to explain who he is. And they're like, well, how did he get a microphone? And I have to explain, well, his fans think he has potential. Well, if he had potential, he wouldn't be able to carry a note after 2 years. He has no potential.
Did you see, like, because from what I sent you, when one of their fans had said, "We know he can't sing,"
right? But then it's also like, So you're choosing to be taken advantage of, because why are you supporting this endeavor? You can have a hobby, don't get me wrong. Like, I love Bright. Bright is a great floppy hair guitar boy. He plays guitar well. The boy can't hit that falsetto he keeps trying to do. He can't sing. But what does he do? Except for the fan meet that they keep forcing him to do, which you could tell he don't want to do and say he don't want to do. Golf sings badly on his Instagram. Not Golf, Bright. Bright sings badly on his Instagram.
Yeah, so I was about to go. I don't think golf has that much
Bright is not
thing online.
Bright is not trying to have an entire music career where he performs on stage. Bright is trying to be light bright with big ass eyes and look good on a camera. That's what Bright is doing. And I don't understand why Golf couldn't just do that. Because I find it disrespectful that you are basically, his entire idol career is a money grab. Because why don't you have your own song if you really like singing that much? Why don't you have your own choreography if you like singing that much? Why you ain't came out with a mini album if you like singing that much?
I can agree. I can see that, and that honestly is. I feel like it's probably coming from that section of the world that has an Asian fetish. Like, to be honest with you, because that's at least that's how I see it. Like,
I think
anyone
it's
like,
Thai people that have a Korean fetish.
but the only I feel like it would be like just everyone because of the when um Mew has his songs and whatnot, and they're tying everyone together. Like, I feel like every country or they have their own specific strengths, and everyone else, fans and shippers and whatnot, they're lumping everybody together into one thing, and that's not the case. And they're like, oh, fine, they like this from this place, let's say K-pop from Korea. So like, fine, we can do this too. I mean, I know you guys are already my fans because you watch me in all of my list of shows. So why can't I do this? Like, why not? I'll sing bad. You'll still like me anyway because I'm Asian. That's pretty much how I see it.
And I feel like it's also this idea, and we're going to put up our older episodes, but like in a previous episode, we did talk about how fans, specifically in Asian media forums, decide to devote themselves to their idol, to their actor. And so for them, that means we must support everything they do. That's not what being a good fan is. If your fans suck, like if your idol sucks, tell them they sucked so they could do better next time. Like, if they can't dance, right. Right, because if you keep paying for the same thing, I promise you, as somebody that actually plays instruments, sings, and dances, if you pay me to be bad at it, and you pay me a lot of money, I assume you want me to be bad at it. So even if I ever get good enough, why would I then make you pay for it because you don't want it?
There's really no point in doing that because you're getting money with the least amount of effort. So like, why not continue doing that?
And it's not like it's a new thing, okay? So let's be honest. And I say we in the general term of the fandom of BL, made Golf get on stage and sing and dance. Why? Because that's what they do at fan meets. And we made Golf and Mew have fan meets. However, there are other ships that have fan meets. Tay and New can't dance or sing. Did they get dancing lessons and singing lessons over the years to where they do not sound horrible on stage? Yes. Off is one of the most uncoordinated people I have ever seen on earth. That man used to dance like a baby giraffe just being born, okay? But can he dance now? Slightly. He knows rhythm. He can keep up. Can he sing now? Yes. Not the greatest, but I could listen. My ears don't hurt. Like, I really feel like every time a video of golf comes across my TL or people send it to me, I really wish I could throw my phone because it hurts.
I don't listen to, my ears are sensitive. Like I can hear you off pitch, even if you think you're not off pitch. And his singing, it angers me almost. Like it triggers, like, because it
Mm-hmm.
hurts. It hurts my ear, and that's not a drag at golf, because that's for anyone. I mean, my
Mm.
friends.
I'm
Um,
dragging golf. It hurt. He knows he ain't got no pitch. He know he off key. He know he sounds like a screaming banshee. He has the most expensive setup for a bad artist I've ever seen. William Hung She Bang sound better than golf.
okay. Okay. Woo! Okay, so let's go back to Mew. So, like I said, the biggest issues, and like I said, we're taking it from all sides, is the surrogacy thing. Biggest thing for them, for the fans, for from both of them. Both of them are to blame, and it was made very clear in the threads and everything.
Excuse me.
That should have never been asked and or answered in any capacity, whether it was scripted or not, because there are gay men in this world who have a very hard time adopting or even finding surrogates to carry their child, because for the conservatives and for just people who believe that you should do things in the natural state of things, which is a man and a woman humping and sweating all over the places, and then boom, baby, which, take it from me as a mother, it's not that great. Okay, if I could have just used a turkey baster, I would have. It's not that compelling, people, to want to have a baby in the natural state of things. But I can fully understand that from somebody who is also bisexual and who now plans to spend the rest of her life with a woman. If I want to have another child and I want to go through those motions, it's going to be very hard for me. It's going to be very difficult for me to find a surrogate, to find an adoption agency. It just takes one person to find out I'm trying to have a kid, and I could just see that from like uh from from these artists, from these actors, like two actors trying to have a kid, and then like it becomes like headline news. Oh, they're gay, they're getting married, they're gonna have kids, and then like all these like adoption agencies, like, well, we're not gonna give them kids. Like it being like very hard. Like some of them are lucky. Sometimes they have sisters who are like, I don't want no kids. You can have all these eggs because I don't want no damn kids. Which those are great. I mean, anybody want my eggs, you can have them. To be honest, because I ain't popping out another one out of me. That wasn't fun the first time. It won't be fun the second time. It won't even be fun the third time.
I will say this. I will say this as a single woman who most likely I do not want to be old and have kids. That's my thing. If I get to 40 and ain't had a kid, I'm adopting. But if I get to 35 and I own another house, that's my own, I do plan on doing not surrogacy, but in vitro. But I understand people getting upset about that. And this is what I'm going to say. Even if they were serious, most likely they wouldn't have gotten a surrogate from Thailand. They wouldn't have tried to adopt from Thailand. They both have enough money to go outside of the country to a country that will adopt to them. So rich people already wouldn't have had the problem that regular gay people were going to have in Thailand. That's one. I think people need to realize that. Even if it was real, normal people problems are not rich people problems.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Two, I do agree they shouldn't have said it. They shouldn't have answered it. It should not have been asked.
Yeah.
It should have never been brought up. Because I don't really care if people in the media may have thought it was real. We knew it was promotion for something. It should not have been brought up on that forum.
Yeah.
But I will ask.
No, but the thing is that with that surrogacy, that see, when I sent you the things, that's not what was asked. What was asked was a general-based question that was geared towards both of them, not as a unit, but just like if I was to ask you, hey, Jess, so in the future you want to have kids, right? if you were with your shipping partner, I don't think your first mind would go to, okay, let's correlate that to
It would.
partner when it
I
wasn't
it
if you
it
two have
absolutely
dates.
would.
Huh?
It absolutely would. If it's an interview with the two of us, if it's the interview with the two of us and it's an interview for my ship, I absolutely automatically assume they're asking us.
Yeah, that's the thing. But like, cause I know a lot of people. Like, somebody has sent me the whole interview just so that there was like a gay man has sent me the whole interview just so that there was clarification of these questions were said to the actors, and it was things like um it was like a mixture. It was like at one point they were like, okay, you two were dating if, and I like that the interviewer kept going if we're dating, if like cheating occurred, how would you handle it? Or if an accusation of cheating occurred, or since you are celebrities and somebody has said, oh, we saw golf with a girl, which has sadly happened to him because people love to fucking get into everybody's business. But Mew and Golf were like, well, we would discuss it between each other. And I thought that was mature. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's cute. If you guys were dating, that's a mature
I'm
response.
gonna I'm gonna say this again though. I really don't believe they made up any of their own answers for this interview.
Really?
Mm.
I honestly think because questions have to be sent to your agency first, the questions were sent, and whoever is in charge of the PR for the two of them made up the answers. One. And then two, if there's any questions, even one question, I'm just going to say this as somebody with a learning disability, if there's a single question that says if and it has the two of us in it, I'm automatically going to assume every other question after that is about the two of us because my brain works on that. So if you told me if y'all were dating and somebody cheated, when you finally get to the if you want children or would you ever want children, I'm going to go back to okay, this is another if we were dating situation. So I would then make up an answer, especially depending on who made the answers. I would make up the answer based off of the ship answer. But I can't give like it didn't hurt me. I'm going to say that. I just think it was inappropriate for it to be asked at all. So I feel like the person who made up that question and the person who asked the question should get just as much heat because why would you ask it? And then they both were responsible for that, and it was a terrible answer for them, and it has aged like milk. It shouldn't have been said, but feelings wise, I would have to ask Kyle how he felt. So
I'm not exactly mad at that the question was asked. I just feel like it might should have been necessarily if you were going to go that route, then you might have a separate interview for them themselves as actors, and
mhm.
then this interview for their actual characters. Because that's why I was actually going to jump in. Like I feel like the lines were blurred and no one knew what was which and whatnot if these questions were actually asked on the spot. So if that were the case, then your mind is like pretty much everywhere. So it was just not well put together. So if
Right.
they wanted to ask that question, it should have been done whether they're doing it as their characters versus as the actors, and they're doing separate interviews together altogether.
I agree. I agree. And I think that's another reason we can't like completely it was inappropriate, but I don't think we should be as mad at Mew for saying it because again, if it was asked on the spot and all the questions before you gave me hypothetical
Right.
situations about the two of us being together, I would then assume that question is about the two of us being together.
Okay, so development. Before like we reach this podcast, it seems that Muse management is no more. MSS Entertainment is no more. He took down the YouTube channel. He took down put his mother as his manager. With contact her, and then so I'm bringing this up because then fans kind of found this hilarious that Wanjai especially was like, we're getting the new Mew back. We're getting our old Mew back. He's gonna come back to golf. Blah 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 blah. He's getting rid of everyone that. So what they're what some I'm gonna give you both spectrums. One side is saying you people are crazy. Why do you actually think that just because he changed management, because contracts are up or something happened behind the scenes, whatever the case may be, why do you automatically think, oh, so now he's gonna go back to golf?
That is insane.
Yeah. And then the other side is like, yes, it's true. He got rid of his management to go back to golf because it was his management that was stopping him from interacting with golf. And then people went back and was like, you understand that MSS
Hold
stands
on.
for Mu Super Six. Like that stands for him. He made that entertainment company. He was the one who wanted to make an agency under his name to hire talent and do whatever he wanted to do. These were the announcements he made. These were the plans that he set in place. He did this to create his own shows and do this and do that. So people are like on the fence. For me, I feel like he bit off more than he could chew,
Right.
and it's all kind of like the cards that he threw out. Somebody dealt a better hand to him and was like, "Yeah, you want this, but you don't have the resources that you think would be."
Right. He was probably losing money. Um, Mew is rich. We all know this. Mew is rich in real life, but nobody should be funding their own business. And I don't think he understood how much work, how much financing it took. And let's be honest, he's been shelling out a lot of money because
Yes, I think you froze.
Oh no, she froze.
Yes, yes, yes. You
Okay,
froze.
there you go.
You froze.
oh, there we go. I like how did you get Roddy to come from his random little like hiding spot? How did you get how did you get Sam Kim? Like that's a lot of money.
Suho. How did you get Suho? People are still like,
Exactly.
how did that happen?
That happened was easy, okay, because Suho is part of SM, and all you gotta do is pay the fee, and SM will send them over. Like that's all you gotta do. Um, but like I think he bit off more than he can chew, and I think he decided he wanted to focus on his career more than anything, and so it is easier and it is better to have an agency if you are not prepared. And he's now gone through the first run, and when he wants to make another agency, he could do it again. Like, but I don't think people should mix it with the whole Wanjai thing. Those two separate incidences.
Yeah. So
Yep.
Kyle, what do you think of?
Um, yeah, they shouldn't be compared to each other. I think he's doing it now. Honestly, getting rid of your whole team, it just sounds like rebranding, all just rebranding. So I feel like he's probably building everything back up again silently, and we're going to see something just new and just that's it. Just rebranding, just
Also, I
rebranding.
think
I don't
it's
think he's
kind
gone
of
altogether.
I think it's kind of insulting.
Again, Jess, again.
So it's a bit insulting, y'all. Like, oh no, it was his management's team fault. They didn't want him to be together. Did you think if he got rid of her as his manager, that would no longer be his mama? Like, she would now like golf? Like,
Yes,
would
of course.
that just it
Oh, no, 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 no.
work?
His manager wasn't his mom at first. His manager's name was Taz or something like
Or
that.
like his contact, but like the head of his management team was his mama, wasn't it?
No, no,
Like
no.
the entire team.
No, the head of his management team was Taz.
Oh, Taz.
He just recently switched it over, and if you look on his Instagram, it says like before work contact, and literally he put in
Oh,
abbreviation mama.
oh, okay.
And people were like people were kind of weirded out by that because they were like, you could have just like not put anything, just like silent. And like there's a picture of him. He's in Japan right now for his fan meet out there, um, where he looks uncomfortable. He's with the
Mm-hmm.
he's like with the team. So it's like, you know how if like contracts are over or if you're like
Right.
severing ties, there's still things that are in place.
Right.
And
And you're all contracted to have to do it, so you all
yeah,
have to show up. Yep.
yeah, yeah. So they're like in that picture because they did arrive at separate times. Like his old management, as we now know now,
Mm-hmm.
they came at a different time than he did.
Right.
So he went to the airport with his mom and like greeted the family,
Right.
did whatever he had to do, and then went on the plane. They went on a different time. I think they had.
Right.
I think they went a day earlier or the day after. But the fans were like, he looks uncomfortable. So
I mean, it
I
probably is
knew
uncomfortable.
the one guy doo-doo-doo, that they were like, you see, look how upset he is. He doesn't even want to be with them. This see, we're gonna get our old Mew back. And I was like, I was kind of like sitting there, just like, sometimes issues can happen between management companies without it having to do anything else
Right.
but creative differences
It literally could
in
be
management.
that everybody's contract ended. Mew is not going to keep his agency, so there's no point in renewing a contract because I ain't got the money. Like,
Sorry, that was a warning timer, just so that we
but
know.
I am going to bring up three things that bothered me with this whole Mulian uh,
On
P
guy.
balls against Mulian thing, and this is my problem, right? So one is the fact that people, mostly P balls, were or Mulians that were upset with Mew over telling the truth were bringing up Tool and saying, well, he's clarifying because of the pictures with Tool. Even if he was, that has to do with the fact Tool is a real businessman. He has a ship. And he ain't in no show with Mew as a ship, as a couple, as a CP. So you're going to, especially since we're friends, you're not going to mess up my check. You're going to tell your fans, we are not a ship. And I am not stealing him like you from golf. That's what you're going to say. And as my friend, if you don't say it, you're not my friend. Two, it's also like Mew and Tool, they not each other's cup of tea. So if I'm Tool, no, you need to tell them, don't ship them. Um, Two, it was very it was very bothersome to me that a lot of the flack was coming onto Mew. And it was really because he decided to tell the truth and just explain how things were, when I felt that was the most respectful thing anybody could do. If you're not a real couple, you're not talking, your business relationship is basically over, then, and now that contracts from his sponsorships are over, so he's not costing anybody a job. He's not messing up anybody's check.
To go off of that, he's still in contract, still has a contract with golf, them both together. They still have the candy contract,
But
mark.
just the candy one,
Uh-huh.
depending on how, like, they're not having as many, and some of the NDAs part of the contract have probably ended. So he can tell the truth. So I don't understand what is so bad, especially since fans always want to say, just be honest. Just tell us when something happened. We're not going to be mad. Y'all are now mad. And that's why
That's
nobody tell us
fully
nothing.
that.
I think it's 2 years of them asking for them just to tell the truth. Like I said, and this is like I'm taking the side of those who they just want the truth so they could ship them respectfully and not let things get into their head. I'm not talking about those who, like, as soon as they saw them, they
But
had
I'm going to
all
say
different positions they were doing in bed. I'm not talking about them.
I'm saying for both though, because if you have a contract where it says don't say you're not together, and you sign that contract, you then cannot say we're not together because you're now literally responsible for all these people involved in this contract and work, their checks and their livelihoods and your own. Because especially for me, he owned his agency at that point in time, and he was the one that had all the money that had to be paid out. It was him. So if literally, I could keep the lights on at my house and my office by saying, no, this not fan service. That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Mm.
So, and I also feel like fans, we've said this before, fans have to take responsibility. We can ship them responsibly regardless of what they say. And at the end of the day, we've said this before, we only know what these people tell us, but even then, as celebrities, believe that it's not true because it's not true. It is just because it's not Hollywood in America, it's still Hollywood. It's still the industry. It's still fake. It's still
Mm.
acting. It's still propaganda. And all of that is fake. So at the end of the day, you don't ever have to know if anybody is gay or straight. Just believe they are not fucking each other. That's all you have to do is believe
Sure.
that these two men are getting paid to pretend to be characters on and off screen. Just because they use their real names at their fan meets or these sponsored events does not mean that they are still not in character. So, what I'm saying is, yes, it would have been nice if they could say it, but I honestly believe, based off of contracts and work, and especially the beginning of their ship, because they knew they were having a second season, but there was that large gap, I'm not going to say this is all fake because I still have to film. I still have to get this check. Like, I'm not gonna say it. So I think in the end, what really should be, it sucks. I'm not gonna lie. It sucks to be let down by your favorites as a fan. But in the end, if you believed that they were real, especially in the last 7 months when they have had no interactions whatsoever, we don't even see them talking to each other. There was no reason to believe, even if they were real, they were still together. So whatever Mew came out with in the last 3 weeks shouldn't have bothered anybody that much
Okay,
because it was over.
so
Mm.
before wow, just to clarify, the reason fans are also upset is that um, there's branding that was kind of centered around like their ship, which was Sunflower and the Sun. Um, Mew, at least on Mew's side, Mew had made it very evident that he had his own branding, for like his fandom when he's like a solo artist, just him. So maybe this has to go on Golf's end, on kind of being his fault for continuing the delusion to, especially that shit. Um, he kept using Sunflower. Mew seemed to be very much more like professional about like don't like bring anything to like my fan meet when it's like me. Like,
Right.
but Golf was totally different. Golf was allowing things, allowing the Wanjai name, allowing doing like posters, take pictures with the Wanjai stuff. He was holding pictures of him and Mew. He was doing a lot. But now going into Mew, and this is why it's like so murky. He started to, well, at his Halloween thing, he started to bring back up the sunflower and the sun, and he started to purposely pick Wanjais that had um like the Wanjai name in their profile compared to like Mulian. And Mulians were like, they started to get mad, and a lot of his fans jumped ship because they were like, how could you do that? How could you like pick them like over us?
I think that takes it to a different space though. Because if you think about it, were Wanjai not saying the same thing? They felt abandoned by Mew because he was not acknowledging them. So if you then are like, okay, well, I'll acknowledge you. Now your solo fandom is upset. And it's not he's abandoning you, you're both his fans. So
But I
if
think
he's
it's because of
decided
how
to,
long the time
and
period
and I get
was
it,
ignoring them.
And I get it, but like Kyle said, he's rebranding. And part of rebranding is now you're going to put your hand in every pot now. If you have two fandoms, you're going to then cater and pander to all your fandoms. And if you have a fandom that's complaining, hey, we were your fans too, but now you don't even want us to like show up as your fans. Well, when you show up, then I'm going to acknowledge you because at least, you know, you're going to come here. And I think Mulians that may be upset that he did decide to start doing things for Wanjai should kind of check themselves as well. Because those people are just as invested in Mew as Mulians are. So that's my thing. And if you found it okay for Golf to still pander to Wanjai and you weren't getting mad over Golf doing it, then you shouldn't get mad over Mew doing it. It's their shared fandom.
What about you, Kyle? What are your thoughts on?
No, I agree. Like I really don't have anything else to add to that. Like I completely agree with that, with everything Jessica said.
Okay, so just to go back to the Tool situation, because I think like he's kind of like he should never been brought into this, at all. Because again, going back to they've been friends for 13 years. Very hard to have a friendship for 13 years. A lot of us can't stand each other for that goddamn long. So when you have it, guards are down. Comfortability is up. Okay? I had a friend, not my friend anymore, but I had a friend for that long of time. I've seen things on this woman's body that I shouldn't have seen. They show me things I shouldn't. There's just a level of comfortability, but never, not once did we ever see each other in a romantic relationship. Never was there an attraction. Never was there, and we were both. Me and my friend, we're both gay. We both like women very, very much. Over
I
men,
think that has to
very
do
much.
with the
And
I think
still,
that has to do with the fans that don't have maturity at all. We've talked about this before, and this is something that's talked about in the BL community with more mature fans as well, that a lot of these people don't understand human relationships and they make everything a ship. They want everything to be gay. They want everything to be this, they and that. They like if you breathe in the direction of another man, oh my god, you're a ship. Like that's not how it works. People can have
Mhm.
friends like and they're not in love with each other. And I think they don't understand. Maybe they don't have friends at all in real life. Maybe they're real life mames. I don't know. But um I will always track that woman. I don't care. Um, Maybe they don't have friends that they can do that with, but Mew taking a picture of Tool in his underwear doesn't mean that they were getting it in. That means that one, they're really close friends, and he was there. Let's be honest. If it was one of Tool's other friends that lived in New York that he's really close with, Tool would also have that man take pictures of him in his underwear because those are the pictures Tool wanted to take.
yeah, he had just turned 30. I don't know if y'all remember Rain's song.
Dirty 30. Let him do that. Sexy 30. Let him do it.
Like that's a thing. Like when I turned 30, that whole month I was a hoe. Before my birthday, after my birthday, 30
And
years old, I was like, I'm showing my ass out. Yeah,
and let's be honest. Let's be honest. Like a lot of fans are like, well, they went to dinner. If your friend lives in a place you go on vacation to, who you supposed to eat with? Yourself?
on his birthday, he went to dinner with his friend on his birthday. That part like boggled my mind when they was like, oh my god. And then like I don't know if you saw the clothes situation. It was like, what? Friends can share clothes. Friends can swap clothes. There's a difference between attraction and affection.
And let's be real honest. Tool hella rich. And if Tool want to give me some clothes, give my poor ass some clothes. I will wear all the Chanel. all the Alexander McQueen you do not want anymore. Give it. Give it. I don't even have to fit it. Just give it to me.
Right? Just like, yeah, but that I think with going just like I just don't think it's fair that everybody just brought him into this and was like, you know, oh great, now we have a new ship because
I
then
was off.
again, were you really fans of MewGulf if you were that fickle and was like, all right, no more MewGulf, here's Mewtool, which
But I was also really mad at people that were mad at the ship and was like, oh my God, he's taking pictures of Tyler. First of all, you're trying to make fun of his name, that his English name is Tyler. When you're a fan of Mew, his name is Melvin.
yes.
So
And
you
I
could
don't think
take
like
Melvin and shove it.
yeah, I don't
Because
think you understand like New Yorkers as a whole. We ain't shit, all right? We ain't shit. We will cut ass on your name. So you don't think people were going when he said, "Oh, my name is Tool"? They was like, "You're a
but
tool."
he's also not
A
saying
tool.
Tool because on his paperwork it's Pakwan. He's not using his nickname. He's using his real government name.
Yeah, but I think
You
like
think
when you
these white
introduce
teachers?
when you introduce, I could listen. Remember living in New York all my life, even when I was a kid, every Asian kid in school changed their name to an American name.
Right,
So any girl that was named like Wei or something, all of a sudden they were Susan, Amber, Kelly. All the guys were
right.
David, Brandon, George, and it was like, yeah, but what's your real name? And they're like, and they would say it like, oh no, you're just gonna make fun of it, and that's kind of fucked up. But if you see
Right.
that don't happen in adulthood and in New York, you got another thing
Or
coming.
people
And
can't
if you
pronounce it.
heard Mew and was like, ah, he's a Pokemon. He's a motherfucking Pokemon. Yes,
And
gotta catch them
if you're
all.
if you're in a black neighborhood or there's black people around, we're gonna call you Pokemon for the rest of your life.
Facts. We ain't got no filter, and we don't care how you feel, because we're just busting your balls. If you're sensitive, you're sensitive, and we're not gonna sit here and be like, oh, sensitivity training. We should be more. Nah, we're gonna be like, hey, Pokemon, get back into your ball.
But it's also like how rich he is. He grew up rich. That means he was traveling to all these white countries before we knew who he was. His parents gave him that name. His parents made up Tyler because they probably went around the world themselves and knew nobody could pronounce their name. It's also like when your name is Pakwon on a paper, do you really are you going to introduce yourself to your professors knowing they can't say your name? Like I think people do not understand how hard it is not to be white in America without a white name because they are even a white name that's spelled differently. They're going to act like they cannot pronounce your name.
Mm-hmm.
My last name is literally Boston, just except the B with a different letter, Tosted. And I get Toston, I get toasted, I get Tor, I get Tor. There's no R. But because I'm not white, people pretend they cannot say Tosted. Like you can't phonetically pronounce my last name. That makes no sense whatsoever. So you think they're going to pronounce Pakorn correctly? No, but they will be able to say Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
So when y'all are wanting to like crap on Tool because he stole Mew from Golf, guess what? He did it, and hi Jason my brother came in. He did it, and it is what it is. But y'all don't have to like one. Why are y'all mad at Tool? Just in general, on a BL level, Tool is so far above Mew. Like, if Mew and Tool were a ship or were together, that does nothing but benefit Mew.
Honestly, it's probably because no one's like, I don't think anybody's, especially international friends from the US, like, we're so stuck in this individual mindset of life that when you go across the pond to Asia, in places where a lot of things are communal, you know, a lot of people don't know how to process that. Like, like being together like constantly. It's just not like, oh, they must be in a relationship because they're together like all the time. It's like, no, this is just a genuine friendship. Like, it's not the way where everything is like, oh, that's fucking gay here in the US
Right.
because two dudes are hanging out. And I feel like that's where it's coming from. So it's like on the opposite end, it's not like insulting as far as, oh, they're together, there's like, oh my god, they're together, because they don't know how to separate the two,
Right.
because we're not like that here.
Right.
Like
But like, which is weird because all the pictures, they just look like bros. They
They
just look
really do.
they and it just look like Tool like showing him around New York and like being like, hey, look at this, hey, look at that, let's take some pictures here, let's take some pictures there. Tool is notorious for wanting to take pictures, and what you have to love about Tool is that Tool is never gonna show the pictures for weeks. And
Right. It's gonna be 3 months later.
yeah, and then all of a sudden you're like, when the hell did this occur? You have to you have to give that to Tool, but you also have to give to Tool that Tool has been consistent in how much of a good person and a great friend he is to whoever he's associated with.
Right.
So
Because
like
he doesn't even set that rule with his friends. The only time you know where Tool is at the time he's there is when his friends post.
exactly,
And he does not get mad at his friends posting.
exactly. So he may give that level of respect of not wanting to post like off rip, but he's also not going to like demand from his friends like take it down. Because remember, Mew was posting in real time. You know, whenever they did something, he was posting in real
Right.
time.
Because Max does that all the time.
Yeah, and so you have so for you to then be like, you know what it is because they his last name means son in English. When you translate it, they was like, oh, see, this is Mew's son. When you thought it was that he was the son for golf, and I was like rubbing my face down like with frustration because I'm like, why are you connecting so many dots? Why are you like? They're like so because then you have other people like, oh, he's just doing what he did with golf. He's just trying to make a shift because of the Ocean Eyes, because of his new show that's coming out. That
Which
he
doesn't make sense. He would make the ship with the person he did the show with.
exactly like, and they were just like, they was like, that's so messed up. Like just like all these different and like I said, I wanted to get it from every perspective, but I also wanted to get it from like a supporter's perspective of why they were upset because of what the things that were said, you know. And if you're not looking at other fandoms and what they're doing, and you're just kind of looking internally at your own fandom, yeah, it does look messed up
And
that
I.
in your own fandom, these people are lying to you compared to if you look at
Right.
every fandom, there's kind of deceit everywhere.
Everywhere. And it goes the same with straight ships in Thailand as well. And I will say, I am completely understanding on why people are mad. I think people just kind of need to reel it back
a
a
little bit.
little bit. Um, espe- especially because it's a lot of shit. I had a whole thought and forgot. It's a lot of toxic. Oh, I remember because a lot of people were saying they were going to bat for Mew and Golf, and because they believed they were real, and that's why people hated them online. And I really need Wanjais to know that's not why we hated you. Y'all was mean.
You're very like very
Y'all was
I don't
bullies.
like y'all like from people that were messaging me, and I just want to let you know that everything that you're gonna see that I'm gonna be putting up on this channel, there are no names or anything or where I got these things from because a lot of these people were like, please don't use my name because they have driven me to want to kill myself or harm myself. So I just want to let y'all know that the things y'all say and the things y'all do, okay? Some of us have thick skins, some of us don't, okay? So you may say something to me and I'll be a sarcastic little shit about it and be like, same. But other people, that
Right.
shit hurts. That shit gets under people's skin. So as much as you thought that you were just emotional because you were gone, you were so for MewGulf and stuff.
And you were protecting them and you were promoting them. No, you were being assholes. You were being internet bullies. Like
Y'all
y'all were
were trying
messed
to
up.
fuck them, but because y'all couldn't fuck them, y'all were trying to live vicariously through golf because you thought golf was fucking him.
Right.
They were fucking each other. So you like collectively you wanted to fuck these two boys. And because you couldn't, they were kind of ooh, we know they fucking, so we can think we're fucking them. No.
And I
Oh
think
my
that's the
god.
problem. A lot of Wanjais that were going hard, when they switch fandoms, they do the same thing. Y'all came from another fandom. The majority of Wanjais are K-pop stans.
Oh yeah.
And y'all came over because y'all got disappointed in y'all idols from K-pop and then decided that, well, if we can support BL because there's no girls to date. They're not going to date girls. They're gay. You just decided they're all gay. And you just decided they can't break your heart because they're not going to get married. They're not going to get nobody knocked up. Like, that's what you decided. And then when people said real things, I remember when Tarn Type first came out, and there was a lot of us on BL Twitter that have bigger BL Twitter accounts. And we were making jokes. We were claiming Mew. We were claiming Mew and a bunch of other things. And people got mad because I said, oh no, Mew's my husband. He been my husband. Girl, it's a joke. I'm not going. I don't care if Golf really had him or not. Like it's a joke. But even if I cared, I got through the first season of What the Duck. Did Golf watch the first season of What the Duck? If he did not, he can't claim him.
He did.
Oh,
He did.
oh.
Boy, did he.
Did he skip? That's the question. Did he skip? Because I feel like he had to have skipped. I did not skip any scenes in What the Duck. Amazingly.
I think he focused on the the scenes Mew was in because they asked him in an interview, and if you would have seen Mew's face, he looked like they ripped his heart out, and they like watching it do this because they were like, "So Golf, did you watch What the Duck that Mew was in?" And Mew was just like, what the? And then when he heard Golf go, "Yeah, I watched it," his face, he's like, "What the fuck?" He did not watch.
So,
He
but
watched.
this, and then I remember because I tweet reacted to Tarn Type because I didn't want to upload all those episodes, so I tweet reacted it, and then somebody found my tweet. Yeah, that like somebody found it 2 months after Tarn Type ended, and then started attacking me because I said it was toxic and that both Tarn and Type are messed up and abusive. And there's like, you gotta watch the show. Don't just listen to what other people say. I watched it. Do you watch it?
Yeah, that's a pretty on point analysis. I feel like, I mean, Type was definitely abusive, like that was blatant, but I feel like Tarn was abusive in a way that you couldn't see. Like he was
He was
very
manipulative.
manipulative. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was never like for me because I didn't I tried to react to the second one, but I did react to I didn't react to the first one, but I watched it privately. And my biggest gripe with Tarn was when May was like trying to sell him as this great guy who would never do anything wrong. He
He was a horrible person.
Yes, he literally decided that he thought it was a good idea to make Type think that they did something. He
Let's go off of that. He
on
was
his body. He violated someone else's body, but you're gonna tell me, but Type was being mean to him. So then, if anything, if Tar had such an issue, Tar should have decked his ass and told him, you know what, your homophobic shit has crossed a fucking line. Especially after Type called him a faggot, he should have been like, you know what, bro, I got you, and he should
he
have
was
decked his
a
ass.
but he was a horrible person in general. He literally blew off his own family members for some ass every chance he got. Like,
It was.
bruh. And I felt so bad for his brother. The little sister don't even like him, but he at least always there. You can't even get your brother you like on the phone. Uh, like it was terrible in
Well,
general.
and
And literally that person
it didn't help
after
that it didn't help you.
right, and that person that like came on my tweet, I said I tweet reacted it. I went all the way back, got my first tweet of the thread I was tweet reacting to, and put it in my response. Do you know what they did? They didn't read it.
Of course
They
they
d-
did.
they DM'd me. They
Oh, it got
DM'd me
personal.
the actual. No, this is the messed up thing. They didn't DM me the scenes or the parts of the show, like with the links, to show me how wrong I was, to show me the true love that was there.
Okay, we were not like that was that's like that's like I said, that's how we met because like I like went in and was like, this is too far, this is like I don't understand. Like Tarn is messed up. One, going back to Mame, however you want to say her name, she is notorious for having all of her characters rape someone.
Or be raped. Or be.
Notorious. Okay? Her books are it honestly feels like she hates gay people, okay? With the way she writes gay love and gay stories, it's like she hates us. It's like she's like, fuck you.
Maybe she thinks that's how love works because I mean, we'll never know. She don't write straight shit, so we'll never know. But I'm gonna be honest, and I will say this every time this woman is brought up. She don't know how nothing work.
Doesn't.
Not gay stuff, not straight stuff. She ain't got no friends. She ain't got no lover. She ain't never watched porn. She ain't got no hookup. She ain't got nothing. She doesn't know how nothing works.
Doesn't. She doesn't.
So all the people that are like Mame main stands, which end up being the toxic people in each ship's uh fandom, by the way, are all the same because they are the ones that think this stuff is real and this is how it works. This is not how it works. And just because, like, I really feel like they thought, okay, you can have a work relationship outside of work. Yes, but that means you don't talk in public. And because these boys talked in public before they went too far, because there was a period of time they really were just nice to each other. People were like, oh my God, they're in love. And I'm just like, you don't know. Y'all are the people that think all gay men like all men.
Yeah, that's another thing.
I think that's it.
Kyle, I think you can agree that that's something that like plagues the LGBT community, that we're just deviants, we're sexual deviants that just want to fuck everything.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just talking for myself. I mean, I do have a high drive, but that's just me. Anywho,
but you have a type. But you have
true.
A type.
That's very true. I mean,
you don't want everyone.
I don't necessarily discriminate, but I don't. I won't. Yeah, I don't want everyone. That's very true. So I don't know. Like it's just a lot of unnecessary drama, and I don't know where it's coming from, to be honest with you. It's just I don't see like a real reason for people to be behaving the way they are, and I'm trying to make sense of it, and it's not clicking. So it's just like, is it because of this? No, but that doesn't make sense. Is it because of this?
Right.
No, that doesn't make sense either. So I don't know where this type of reaction for whatever it is comes. I don't know if it's because most of the fan are younger and they're just getting into their own and trying to find a way for themselves, and this is just what resonates with them at whatever point. But I don't understand where this type of behavior is coming from, and like it doesn't make sense to me because a lot of people in our community, I don't believe, think this way, if that makes sense. So I don't know if it's a lot of straight people who like this type of content and then acting weird about the content. So I don't picture anyone in the LGBT community behaving the way like we're hearing a lot of these fans behaving. So that's just my take.
And I think to wrap it up, like to go off what Kyle was saying, it's a lot of people. I do think it's a lot of younger people that have the most hostility in this situation. And then I also believe it's a lot of people that may not have had another outlet during the pandemic, or may not have had another way to cope, and this kind of became their blanket, per se, their safety blanket, and it may be getting snatched from them. But I think in general, it's just it's a it's a circle of people. It's a type of people that may have an obsessiveness about them, and they
Mhm.
cannot let go. And I think in general, maybe it would be better to address it, but when it keeps going after people with common sense address it, to just leave each side to their own devices,
Yeah.
because they're not listening to us and they don't care. They're not going to listen to anybody with a voice of reason, because they're going to believe whatever it is they believe is happening, whatever wrong is being done to them. They believe they're righting it, and you just have to let them do them.
I think the biggest thing for to go back to the fans is they feel Mew now has a pattern of behavior and a pattern of distasteful behavior, which I can see. I
And
can
he do.
because of the whole art situation. I can see that. But what
Right.
people need to understand and what people need to stop doing, and I'm just being very honest, you need to stop calling him a sexual predator because when those words were spoken, people who actually speak Thai English that live in Thailand that were properly translating that glossed over everything they were saying when they were like, Art said Mew liked him. Mew, as I've done, kissed somebody I like. They didn't reciprocate, so I deaded it. And I was like, all right, well, damn, you don't like
Right.
me. They fans took it to where Art was like, he pushed me against the wall. Like they went into like a
Right.
BL show, and they tarnished Mew's reputation because
Right.
when Tarn Time came out, New Art came back up. And then
Right.
they were like, yeah, he's good at being a predator because he knows exactly what to do. That's disgusting. That is
But
disgusting.
it also takes it to where golf is a victim,
Yes, that too. That is
and
disgusting.
golf is not a victim.
Yes,
He
Art
was
Golf is complacent in all of this. He is eating all of this shit up, and he is
and he
disgusting.
participated, and he would initiate things. So
Yes.
I think a lot of people, maybe for them, because one, Mew had a history.
Mm.
Mew had previous work outside of golf, outside of Tarn type. For golf, this was his first, so there was no ship before that. I think this is
He didn't have like a lot of work because of
right,
the situation.
right,
They blacklisted him for quite a while.
right. But I think a lot of people are using this as ammunition to put Mew down, because they feel like Mew coming out to say the truth burst their bubble.
Mm.
Because there were some things you sent me, and it was like, well, golf never had a ship before, but Mew did. He had Mew Art, and he had other shows, and they were all flops, and like, you didn't have to say that.
Wait,
Like, yeah, there was one of the messages you sent me, you emailed me, and it was like, the show Mew cameoed in and all his other works, and they were flops.
I
And I
never
was like,
said
that
that.
was,
Somebody said that on a thread, on a Reddit thread.
oh,
That was
well,
not
but
me.
no, I'm saying that you sent me, not you said.
I
You
thought you were
sent
saying
me.
that me. I was going to go, oh no, because there's a reason that I said
Right,
I'm a fan of Mew. I saw promise in his work. Not that I thought his work
right,
was good, but I saw promise in the
right.
elevation of his
But
work.
I didn't think that was necessary to say in your argument, because you don't like Mulians, and somebody brought up the fact golf was the same way. Like, you didn't have to say that if you don't see it that way. That's just mean. And you didn't need to bring up Mew Art in the first place,
Yeah, I
because
was like,
that's been over for years. What the
and
Duck was years
people
ago.
are still adding art like right now because of what's going on
And
right now.
also, if I was Art, I would like leave me alone.
He has. That's the sad part. He has. He did that when the whole K-pop debacle happened with Mew.
Right,
When they said that Mew was copying whatever K-pop
right,
idol video, and they, for some reason, Whoop Art came back, and it was he's a predator, he's a monster, he's a this, he likes to use people and do this to you. And I was like, how are you creating such character assassination from someone when one, it was cleared up that they both Mew and Art were having whatever spat they were having and unnecessarily brought it to the public when it was none of our business.
Right. And I mean, that's what happens when young 20-year-olds have internet. Like, it is what it is. But I think in the end, what the three of us agree with is it's gone a little bit too far.
Yes.
And people just honestly need to relax. If it's not real, it's not real. Find a different ship. Just leave the shipping alone. Just don't ship. It's real easy not to ship. All you have to do is only pay attention to the show. You don't have to look at outside content.
I mean, at this point, it's like we should. I don't say we should expect it, but at this point, the amount of straight actors that we have playing these parts, I mean, like
we should expect it.
You know, right?
Especially when the show comes out and they still got a girlfriend. It's not a question.
You shouldn't be. I don't understand what the stress or overreacting is about, because a good 95% of the shows that are BL are playing by straight actors. Right. So why is this becoming a surprise? It's just I don't understand. Like I really don't
understand still getting upset about it. What really should happen is it's real cute when they hold hands and kiss. It is. Go like the rest of us. And move on, because
and just leave it at that.
It's
take the moment for the moment.
As Western fans, whatever content we're consuming, we can't buy. Let's be real honest. I don't know where I can get that Oishi bread egg roll at. I can't get that. I don't want the honey lemon green tea.
Actually, I haven't really been looking for it before, but I might look at the Asian market that I go to frequently. It might be in there.
Well, I can get it.
Travel to get those things, and
I mean, I can
market around me got that.
I can actually get them, and I did get some snacks when a friend of mine came from Canada, but I can get them at the Thai market. I just don't want to drive to the Thai market in LA. That's a good hour and a half away from me. But you know,
well, it's the same for me. That's an hour and something change, right? Just to go get some.
Right. It's not worth it. So like we as Western fans, what we're only supposed to be doing is giving views. And so if they get the views, they get more money, and like that's how you support. Let it go.
Yeah. And like just like the ship is gone. He told you want to still ship it.
It's okay.
Yes, he was wrong for what he did. He was wrong for the things that he said. So was Golf. This should all be for Mew. This should be a secondary cautionary tale, and for Golf, this should be a cautionary tale.
I think for fans, this really should be a cautionary tale. Ships are not real.
Yes, and to the fans, ships are ships in the night. Sometimes they go through the Bermuda Triangle and disappear forever.
They're called ships because they will eventually sail. Let it sail. Let it go.
Or sink.
Yeah.
Or sink. Let it go. Either way, it's gone. It went bye-bye. So I will say we can leave this off of both for the fans or understanding the fans, a gay man's perspective, and me literally being neutral because I don't like either of them. Like I genuinely, I used to love Mew, but I genuinely dislike both of them. So I am completely neutral. I see that either way, it's over, and I don't see the point. But the argument is really just that people want to continue to argue. Look, argue and make Twitter some more money. Good for you.
Yeah, I remember who has Twitter now, so careful with that one. But just to the fans, protect your mental health, protect your feelings. To those who are part of a community, I know that we would like to see that actual representation. I know we would like to see what straight couples have when they are two actors who wind up getting together. We do want that. I understand that. I truly do. It would be a beautiful thing.
I do not want to see two straight actors that love each other after acting and get together. I do not want to see that.
Well, I mean, because, you know...
I would be fine if two gay actors got together, but I do not want to see two straight men fell in love because they weren't straight.
Straight men too. A female and a male actor acting together.
Okay, you gotta
Like,
clarify what because what you said, what you said was not what you thought you said. And so
a female and male actor getting together. We've seen it. We love to see it. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to fall in love with somebody that has the same love for the same craft. It's a beautiful thing. Someday will happen. But right now, we have a lot of LGBT actors out there that we need to support in full force. That we need to we need to be their sword and shield in this homophobic ass world and make sure they have the best for them. These straight actors are gonna get all the liberties, and nothing, not this podcast, not anything is going to stop their rise because they fit the status quo of this world. We are the unicorns of this world. They don't actually believe we exist until
I'm
we
not a
do
unicorn.
something to show we exist. And then we still get shit for it and they kill us. So just just protect your mental health. I really didn't like seeing a lot of people saying that they wanted to harm themselves after this. I didn't like
Please
seeing,
don't harm yourself over other
yes.
people. I will say that. Don't do that. Nobody is worth, especially nobody you don't know, is worth your life, your safety, your health. Don't do that. And if fans are bothering you, I am going to say this, and I have said this every time. If people online bother you or wherever you're interacting, get off of it.
Yes.
So I left BL Twitter. I left Twitter. I check in randomly um, for my own mental health, and I am one of those people that don't actually care what you say online. So I just don't have the time.
Yeah.
So I will say, do not let these people bully you online. Turn off your phone, delete your app, do whatever you need to do for your own mental health. Um, but I will say, and this might be real mean, I'm not saying get over your mental health issues, but get over the people.
Yes.
Life will go on. You will find something better. Trust me, there are more interesting things than Mew and golf.
Truly, there's many interesting things other than ships and a market that literally has said we we can be a product for monetary gain, but we cannot be something that could change the minds and thoughts of people. You gotta like be, until we have our own TV station or well, I can't even say that because the logo is gone.
We
I
had a
was
TV
like,
station.
logo is a piece of crap now. So like,
It's crap now, but it was good at one point.
Yes,
I'm like
but
this.
but that's why I say we can't have nice things in this sense because that was such a good thing, and they had some great shows.
That's not
And
just to do with the LGBTQ. Black people have BET and this shit too. So I mean,
oh yeah,
once
a
once
whole bunch of
once
shit.
straight white people buy it, it's crap. But I
It's
will say
over. It's
this:
a wrap.
for people that feel like they're watching these people to be their inspiration to come out or for their identity, that is nice when you know it's a show, right? But I feel like we as people, especially with the internet, we can find out if these people may have had straight relationships when they were acting these shows, right? So take everything with a grain of salt. If you really feel like you need a celebrity to give you that confidence, you can just Google gay celebrities, like outwardly gay celebrities,
Yeah, very much.
and find someone that you resonate with. Or maybe it is probably best that you get out and meet people in certain areas or in certain communities so you have an outlet of people that truly are similar to you,
Very much so. Very much.
or look onto certain things like go to Kyle's TikTok.
They're funny. They're
All
funny.
right,
I,
Definitely,
do
definitely
that.
go to Kyle's TikTok because they're great. So yeah, very
So
much so.
but
Very much.
Kyle, would you like to say anything to end, and then after you say whatever, we're gonna end it.
no, I mean, I kind of agree with your finding someone that resonates with you. that is actually a gay celebrity. But I kind of understand like when you find like a story itself that's not really like it explains what you're going through in that particular moment, and that's kind of how I actually started getting into BL. So I kind of completely understand that, but like you kind of have to also separate the two, what is real and what is fiction.
Right.
So if you can't do that, then I feel like you have to other issues that you have to deal with first before finding other things and other entertainment and whatnot. But yes, everyone stay safe. Like what the skill said. If someone is bothering you, like yeah, definitely get off of that platform. You really don't need that. I'm sorry that happened to you. Actually, got from Twitter, by the way. Like I had no idea. Like I haven't. I have a Twitter account just to have one, but I've never been on the
Right.
BL side of Twitter, so like I've never experienced that. But oh
BL
my
side
god,
of Twitter was fun before the pandemic and during the pandemic. But then, like, when things started opening up, a lot of us went back to work. So it kind of died down. And it's not as fun any-
gotcha.
anymore.
I missed the train. Okay.
Okay, so I want to thank Kyle so much for coming on here.
Thanks for
This is
having
our
me.
first guest. Kind of a big deal for us too. I do want to appreciate because, like I said, our voices are our voices, but I think that the senses around gay men, especially, and they should have the bigger voice in this and be more vocal on it than us. So again, I thank you so much for coming on. Follow him on TikTok because it's very funny. I have to figure out how you're supposed to put TikTok links on stuff, but the TikTok link will be down below. Because I just use TikTok on my phone, so I gotta figure out how to do that via a computer. But please follow him on TikTok. He's great. Every time I scroll through his TikToks, I can see a bunch of bullshit, and then Kyle will come up and laughing, and I'm just like, all right, good. Maybe I can get through the rest of the damn TikToks after Kyle. So please follow him. We're bringing up our socials. We're working out the kinks. We're trying to do this as professionally as possible. Please bear with us. Um, we're always going to be here and we're going to be open and honest. We are not backtracking on anything we say. At least I know I'm not. I'm spending 10 toes down on everything I say and feel. Unless I am proven wrong about anything, but since I did not confirm that me and Golf are together because clearly they aren't, and we do not know if either of them are gay. We don't know if Golf is gay. We do not know if Mew is gay. Golf could have found himself throughout the whole journey and found out, okay, maybe I am a part of the LGBT community. But since he hasn't said it, there's no confirmation. He is straight. Men are straight. They deserve to be loved by whoever they want to love just as much as we fight for it. We must also give them that grace as well. Um, Please like, comment, and subscribe. Um, Comments are going to be open. Just know any racism, fatphobia, homophobia, anything cruel, any death threats, any death threats to other people commenting, they will all be removed. I've got time, and I will be removed. But your voice will not be silenced. Your opinion will not be silenced down in the comments. But your cruelty, that will. So just so you know. This has been Allie.
This has been Jessica.
I,
And
I
thank you so much, Kyle. And we'll see you tomorrow with our next special guest, because this is a Carter, Jordy C, YouTuber, also TikToker, to get a perspective from someone who is, I guess, more heavily involved in the reactionary side of things. We will see you, and have a great day, everybody.
Peace.
bye. Good night.
Good night.
All right, so I'm gonna hang up because you know that I gotta hang up for this thing to stop recording.